Hello and welcome to White Guy Watches Bollywood. This is a new channel where one random white guy, that would be me, engages with contemporary Indian cinema one movie at a time. We're here to watch the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'll give you my assessment of each movie, give each one a fair shake as I go on this journey. Now, an increasing number of Indian films of multiple industries, Bollywood, Tollywood, Mollywood, Sandalwood, etc., are opening on theatrical screens near me, and this has kind of led me on a quest to watch all of these movies. Even though I have no background in Indian cinema, I've probably seen 20 or 30 native Indian movies in my life. But I want to go on this quest for a couple of reasons. The first is I'm a highly avid moviegoer by any stretch of the imagination. I see 200, sometimes even 300 movies in theaters every year. But this has been a blind spot for me. For the most part, unless something has been super critically acclaimed or crossed over to American audiences, I've largely ignored the sometimes 3, 4, 5 screens in my area showing new Indian movies. And I want to correct that. I think that, yes, there are local cinemas that only kind of resonate with their local audiences and the diaspora of those audiences across the world. But I think there's probably more to these movies than just local appeal. And I want to see for my own eyes, whether these movies could potentially appeal or cross over to American audiences. And the second reason is really that last year when RRR came out, it signaled that there is crossover potential, at least in some native Indian product for American audiences. The number of American movie buffs and even kind of casual movie lovers with a Netflix subscription who ultimately saw RRR after Dylan Marchetti at Variance Films took it under his wings and really championed it with American audiences was quite substantial. I mean, it made $15 million at the US box office and has a lot of streams on Netflix. And then Pathaan earlier this year with Shah Rukh Khan topped that at the American box office, made $19 million in America, and really signaled forward momentum. I'm recording this little intro the night before Jawan with Shah Rukh Khan opens, and it could very well top those numbers in the US. So I want to pay attention to this trend, and I don't think it's just Indians or Indian Americans who should be paying attention to these movies. These movies, even more so than Mandarin language movies in the US, even more so than our small kind of cottage industry of Egyptian Arabic language movies in the US, are really taking off. And I think if you're a movie buff, if you're a cinema lover, you owe it to pay attention to this. So I really want to see all of them. I want to see all of them that open in my area. Oftentimes that's 4 movies in a week. Sometimes it's, 1 or 2 a month. But I'm going to pay attention to all of them and review them. And I think that the other thing is, I could easily approach this from a kind of neutral perspective and just kind of do this as an academic exercise and look at these movies and try to appreciate them or understand what they mean to the local audience, and certainly be doing some of that. But I think what's more important here is that I really champion those movies that could cross over to American audiences on this channel, because I think if you're an American moviegoer, you're not kind of being directly marketed to in most cases with Indian films that come out. And unless critics really get behind these movies and start championing them and saying they're from more than just the diaspora, there's not going to be a lot of attention paid to them for the most part. And so what I want to do is approach the movies I see like any other movies that I might offer my opinion on. So whether it's Top Gun or whether it's Jawan, I really want to kind of approach them from the same lens. I don't really know that much about their kind of cultural relevance in India for the most part. I obviously want to learn a lot more, and I think I'll learn just by watching the movies themselves. But at the same time, I think the purpose of this channel can be to like flag those movies that really could have the crossover appeal, and to review them on the basis of like, did I, as a random white guy in America, like this movie? Obviously, there are some who will say that my opinion is less valid than that of the audience for whom the movies are intended. And I totally get that. I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, I think that expanding the potential audience for Indian cinema is a good thing. I think it's something we should be curious about. It's one of the few cinema industries globally that seems to be growing, that seems to really be a source of national pride still. I don't think American movies have been a source of national pride since at least the 80s, but probably a good deal before that. And I really think that this is an industry that we ought to be paying attention to. And yeah, there will be those Indian films that are a success with local audiences that the average American viewer will never get. I'm here to kind of say, I didn't get it. But that's not so much a judgment of the movie or those who like it as it is me just saying, like, this one may be more of a local audience appeal film. But I do want to bring to the fore and discuss those movies that I think people like me might enjoy and are worth paying attention to. So if you're open to exploring some Indian movies that may be playing at a movie theater near you, and increasingly post-COVID, it seems like theaters in major cities with any Indian or Indian American population are increasingly booking 1, 2, 3, 4 of their screens for Indian product on any given weekend, then give me a subscribe, give me a like, comment which Indian films might have caught your interest. I'll be sure to review all of them that open near me. I'll also be doing longer written reviews at whiteguywatchesbollywood.com. So be sure to bookmark the website, and I'll see you with the reviews.